Hello, hello. Woohoo. Ah, ha, ha, that's hilarious. Okay, I think it's
Okay.
fine. Well, I mean, she can turn it up, right, Sarah? You can do something. You're the wizard.
Well, it'll be interesting. She is the wizard. She's the wizard, and she'll constantly fix what you've done.
Welcome to Scary Mystery Surprise.
Where we talk about scary things that surprised us around the internet.
I'm Edwin.
And I'm Michelle.
For this episode, Michelle, I'm going to give you a little bio of myself. We're going back to 1995-ish, when I got some of my earliest copies of Scholastic magazines at school. Obviously, I don't remember the name of the articles in those Scholastic magazines, but I remember some of the earlier ones that I found super, super interesting. They weren't about penguins, they weren't about rocks. They were the ones that mentioned space. A group of astronauts that was getting ready for a mission. I remember that kind of thing, or maybe the space shuttle. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And when we were asked to write about a topic that interested us, I would always pick space, something about the Hubble telescope, some type of satellite. Of course, though, aliens were always a thing that I was interested in. But see, there was something about space that really made me feel like vulnerable. Like we are just a little planet compared to like the rest of everything that's out there, right? So when it came to picking a major, once I got to college, I chose aerospace engineering. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just
Yeah.
thought it was regular engineering. I had no idea it was aerospace.
Yeah, I picked aerospace engineering. I did all my internships with a space launch company,
Oh, wow.
ULA, yeah, in Florida and in Colorado.
Now that makes sense. Like, why did he go to Florida? What's there?
Why
He's
Florida?
building bridges in Florida? Like, I don't understand.
I always kept up with news on space, Mars, Curiosity rover, the Hubble telescope, everything space. I always considered myself pretty logical for most of my life, except for when something just throws me off, right? Like, for example, the time that I thought I saw a ghost or a person that wasn't actually there. And like this thing that I've mentioned several times somewhere already, it was that one night in my room, I started hearing this like low vibrating sound, like a helicopter. And then it grew to like a full-on propeller sounds with bright lights and this bright, bright, bright light shining on my face. I was terrified, right? And I was able to shake myself out of bed, and I was still cold from all the wind that I felt, and I ran to get my parents. It was bizarre. Like, it was a weird thing that happened to me. And I forgot about the incident for a time until I stumbled upon a YouTube video late one night of a person that was describing something similar to what happened to me when I was in high school. When something creeps me out like that, I kind of back off. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I just don't want to look more into this. I'll just,
Right. Yeah, I think I am like that. I'm like, nope, nope. What could be the reason for this? Even if it's like psychological or paranormal, I'm just like, give me the reason so I can like prevent it.
So you try to reason it there and then, right?
Right.
Like after a time, like that night when I was watching the YouTube videos, I found other similar videos. And man, things got weird. For this, I'm not saying that I was kidnapped by aliens.
Right.
I'm just sharing an experience that I had that could have been a simple dream. Maybe reading about space so much got me like thinking about the mysterious radio signals that were coming out from outer space. Like,
Ooh, maybe.
I don't know, but it's an argument. Although I can counter that by saying that I've never had a similar experience since. And I can still vividly remember what it felt like. Helicopter in your room, shining a bright light. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I found this article by ABC News. There was a story of twin sisters, Audrey and Debbie, who were part of a secret support group. And this thing was called Starborn. Can you guess what that's about?
Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's A Star is Born.
There's a support group to talk about that, to process everything.
To process that movie.
Anyway, no, it's an alien experience and awareness support group. Basically, a safe space for people to talk about their experiences being abducted by aliens.
Well, that's good that there is a safe space for that. If you think it's aliens, go talk to your alien support group.
Audrey and Debbie, one of them mentioned that when they were kids, they would see a bright blue light coming into the room, and the door would open, and they would see two figures coming in with black capes. They were bald and had big eyes.
I hate that. Something about the capes that made that very sinister.
Right? Yeah. It's they're also surrounded by a misty blue light. Audrey and Debbie would call them the bald men, although there are terms for this now, like alien experts actually call them grays.
Oh, I thought it might have been grays.
Audrey and Debbie claimed to be abducted, actually, and sometimes they would be on the same spaceship, saying that they could see their house from the sky. And then their memory would be erased, but they still remember bits and pieces of it. Another member of this group was Terrell Copeland, a former U.S. Marine, also from that same article. And he has his own fame because there's a bunch of articles about him and his experiences. He actually had a case, he's case number 58105 on the history series UFO Hunters. So he's kind of well known around the UFO community. He said that he saw this big ball of light that wasn't moving. His thoughts upon seeing this were, quote, "Something's wrong here. Maybe I am in over my head. I'm not supposed to be looking at this stuff."
All right. I mean, valid.
Yeah, like, I get it. Like, I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to look at this now. Okay, I'll just, Anyway, he ended up recording the light, and he posted it to YouTube. And then a strange visitor came to his front door.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he was trying to get to sleep one night when he suddenly heard someone attempting to get inside his apartment. So he looked up and said, "Who is it?" And nobody answered. Then he saw the doorknob moving, and he heard scratching at the door. He thought about getting his gun, but he couldn't move. He was paralyzed. And then he heard a voice through the door say, "You don't need that weapon. We won't harm."
They paralyze me in bed, and then they have to scratch at the door. They can't just unlock the door with that power?
Well, they're
with
used
their
to
alien
just
power?
alien doors. Alien doors are different. Like
They
you
just open?
Yeah, you just think like open and it just goes. Yeah. He then started experiencing missing time, which is when you don't remember certain hours or days of your life, which they say that people that have been abducted by aliens go through that. Then he started sharing his experiences, and he was contacted by a ton of UFO hunters. And that's when I said, like, he also ended up in one of those cases for the history series, UFO Hunters. It's like a show. They actually have a medical staff, and they discovered that he had an unknown rare blood disorder.
Huh.
Yeah, a thing that other extraterrestrial abductees also have.
Maybe this blood disorder makes you hallucinate aliens.
Right? So in his interviews, he comes off as logical, sensible, like he's just a normal guy talking about his experiences. And he also mentions how previous civilizations always talk about entities from the sky to kind of make his point, like, this has been going on for thousands of years. It's not just me. But unfortunately, the article that's literally called, like, "Whatever happened to that Marine guy who saw a UFO" is behind a paywall, and it costs $5. And I needed to subscribe, so I didn't. So we're just gonna assume that he got a book deal and he's doing really well.
And God knows we do what we can to bring the truth to you here at Scary Mystery Surprise. So
it's just it was not just a paywall. Like, it was just like I want to read that article. I would buy it if I could, but it's just there was ads in it that I was just like, why am I gonna support this? Like, it's just. Reading these experiences from, about these people made me think about my own experiences. What if something had happened and I have more of a direct experience with aliens than what I know?
So you think you were abducted?
I don't know, abducted. I don't know if that means actually going with them in a spaceship or whatever. But I know that it's something weird that really, really just correlates with a lot of these experiences. Seeing that bright light in the room, missing time. My logical side gets me, where I'm just like, no, like, this is, you imagined it, is on your head or whatever.
Right.
But I know I still remember what it was like, and I can't forget it. Like, it's just, there it is, and this happened. The one experience that I was really searching for, they mention exactly, almost to the, like, what it was that I saw, that I felt.
Oh.
Strong winds, bright light outside their window, shining in their face, like, and they can feel, like, cold wind, like, just blowing past you. You're in this weird half awake, half asleep state, and you don't question it anymore. And that's what happened with me.
What were your other senses doing while that all the lights and stuff were happening? Like, was there a smell? Were you hearing anything weird? What did you feel?
Imagine you're wearing like earmuffs, right? And you press them against your head. So like you're kind of like really like there.
Well, that's easy because we have literally the headphones on right now. So yeah.
Imagine you're at a concert and it's just really loud, just drum like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you feel more of a vibration instead of sound, but there's still sound there. That's what it sounded like. That's what it felt like. Temperature wise, it was cold. It was windy. It was like this like wind, like it's just like this breeze, like strong breeze. And it was so bright that I couldn't look at it. It's just shining straight at my face. Like it's just like like you can barely open your eyes. And like when you kind of want to put your hands over it.
Right.
It was like this bright and it wouldn't go away. And it was just like, like you don't know what it is. You don't know. You can't really move that much. Like for me,
right.
it was more like I couldn't move. Like but I wasn't paralyzed. It was like, I can't remember struggling. I can't remember that, but I can't remember like getting up and moving away or stepping up to see it. Or
was there a smell or a taste?
No. I don't think I was like, how do I say it? Like, it's not like I wasn't conscious of it. I think I was capable of telling a difference like that. But
well,
no,
if it smelled like rotten eggs or something, like, like if it smelled like sulfur or, there was a metallic taste in your mouth or something like that, like there's...
No, nothing like that. But I do know that it was cold. I remember like that point where like when you open your window and you're driving on the freeway and you can't...
Oh, yeah.
You can't like breathe. It was kind of like that. It was more like you struggle with it. When I read that other account that I couldn't find, not now, it was like that. They said the same thing. They're like, it's this bright light. You can barely see it. You're overpowered by like light and wind or air, or like maybe it wasn't even wind. It was like a strange force holding you there. Like you just don't know. But it really made me like think like, oh, this stuff might be real. But like I said, when that happened, I just ignored it. Like okay, this happened. That's it. Moved on until I started seeing all these other accounts.
Well, yeah, I think you just, because there's no way to really process that until you start seeing that other people have had the same experience as you. Like you can easily write that off as a dream until you start seeing.
Right.
Have you ever asked anyone else in the male line of your family if they've had that happen?
No.
I mean, there is like folklore stories about how alien abductions run in families.
Yeah, that'd be interesting just to know, because I don't really talk to them that much. As in, like, my dad, yeah, but like not, uncles, grandparents, like no. Now that I feel like, I can actually research this stuff. I can actually go and find information on how this works and do it. I find myself like kind of holding back again. Where I'm just like, I don't really want to know, because what if something did happen, or what if this is something and I just don't want to know about it. Because I've had those like time skips, where like I'm somewhere and like something happens or happens twice, where I'm just like, how the heck? Like I already know what's going to happen. And other weird things that I'm just like, how does it happen? How does that? And I always consider myself very lucky, like with some things that I'm just kind of, this happened and I don't know why, but I guess it just did. But yeah, and you know what? I guess the opposite side of this, which is the strangest relationship ever, which I guess now would be called a situationship. This thing that happened 10 years ago, now that I think about it.
Is this the dolphin girl?
Yes. So I met Dolphin Girl back when I was in NorCal, in Northern California. I was in my phase of dropping out of school and signing up for school again. And I had met a bunch of friends, and there was a group of guys there that were into tech and everything. And out of that same group, once I left, I got a message from Dolphin Girl. And I was like, hey, what's up or whatever? Are you going to this thing? And she knew that I spoke Spanish. She was learning Spanish. This is the initiation of whatever you call it, courtship, flirting.
She DM'd you.
She slid in to my DMs.
She slid into your DMs. Dolphin Girl appeared.
Anyway, we just kept that going, right? And we actually ended up meeting up, hanging out a couple times. And then I started traveling. I went to Mexico. I stayed there for a while, back and forth. This time we were just still talking the whole time. And once I went back up to NorCal, she had just gone to Spain to do the walk, Camino de Santiago.
Oh, nice.
Is, that thing that I did this past year. Along the way, she finds this pamphlet basically this hippie went up to her and said, hey, here you go. Here's some information. And she was having some trouble, like identity type of things, like trying to sort out your life and everything. And she sees this thing that basically says, change your life now, come to a meeting or whatever, right? Yeah, trying to be supportive. I'm like, I won't laugh. Just tell me, like, it's fine. And she's like, okay. Basically, there is this person who's telling the truth, like the ultimate truth of humanity and everything. However, it's not him talking, but it's him channeling this alien. And I'm going to get this wrong because it's been so long, but that lives 300 years in the future. And it's trying to find a way to communicate with us now to warn us about things that are happening.
All right.
People that know about this stuff are going to know what group I'm talking about because it's still active.
You're always getting recruited by cults.
But anyway, this dolphin girl ended up really getting into this thing. And the guy that channels the alien tells people basically to follow your excitements, like whatever excites you. Like, if I want to do this, just do it, whatever. I thought it was okay. I was like, okay, well, I mean, if you're into that. She was like, but if I'm the only one that believes it, I don't know how we can work out if we don't share the beliefs, because this is going to affect basically how I live my life. So she sent me material, like stuff to read. And basically she sent me this video of this guy who's sitting in front of a group of people, and he starts doing this like mouth thing, like weird things. And then he starts talking, saying that he finally connected with the alien, and now the alien's talking and answering questions from the audience.
Oh.
I found this bizarre. Like, we can't do that. Like, you don't, right?
I just love how many cults you've almost joined. There's something about this that's just too funny. Edwin almost joining a cult like every fucking year.
She followed through with it. Like, she kept, going to those meetings, paying up money to, go there and support or whatever. Eventually, she ended up doing dolphin communication courses.
I mean, to be fair, dolphins and whales are very smart.
Yeah.
Maybe they're the true leaders of the planet. We don't know.
And she believed that. She used to tell me, like, they're actually aliens. Like, they're not from this planet. And I was like, oh, okay. When I think of it now, she was what I considered, right, a very just normal girl. She was just into poetry, into singing. She was learning guitar, learning Spanish. She was just normal, like just the average girl. And then she went the other way. She ended up going to this stay in Sedona, Arizona. She said that where she was going to stay, they were very open to things, and that they also follow their excitement.
It sounds like orgies.
That's what I imagined. And I was like, wait a minute, you're going to stay at this place where like people follow their excitement? She was like, yeah, she's like, so it opens up a lot of possibilities for things like
cheating on your,
yeah,
your I don't know, situationship partner.
It got even weirder when she said that if they feel like it's natural and right for members of the same family to pursue a certain...
Wow, That's pretty culty. I mean, I just love how many red flags you've... Like, not the talking to dolphins, not the fucking your family. It's that you didn't join the religion. It's like what broke you guys
I don't
up.
understand a lot of things. Like, I realize, like, there's so much stuff that is just...
That's fair.
Completely,
no one does.
Like, out there. I never thought I'd be so close to someone who would, I guess, be lost to this. Last thing I knew about her, she was still into this stuff.
Well, hopefully it's worked out for her, and she's having a lot of good times following her excitement, which that sounds kind of fun at certain times of my life. That sounds like that would have been a great time.
See, this is why this is therapy session on Scary Mystery Surprise. I don't know if me admitting to, okay, maybe that light that I saw when I was, young, like makes that real that, oh, aliens do exist and I was, had a connection with aliens or whatever.
Oh, and then thus it validates all of her crazy shit.
Yes.
No, it doesn't validate her crazy shit.
Oh,
different experience, different, you're not channeling messages and trying to tell people how to live their lives because of your experience. That's different.
True.
And also I have a sneaking feeling they collect money. While we at Scary Mystery Surprise do love your support, we don't quite collect money for cult activities yet.
Oh man, but yeah, like if anybody has had any experiences with this, I want to know about it. I want to know if people have experienced anything with super bright lights over your car, over your room.
That helicopter sound, or like that wind,
weird little droning.
Like that's...
Yeah, it's really weird because I've heard that spaceships are silent, and then I heard that. So I don't know. I don't know if it was my ears reacting to.
No, I think your experience happened to you. I don't know what it is, but I think it happened.
Oh man, that feels good to be at least to say it out in the open.
Yeah.
Even though I can't say that I fully 100% believe that aliens are among us right now. It's a very interesting story. Like if you think of it, like, oh, we're not alone. There's people out there. I mean, there's other beings out there and they're visiting us.
Well, and the dolphins are here. So
that's proof right there. Aliens live in the ocean. We're gonna ask that question if you believe in aliens in our Spotify Q&A.
Anyway, what are we going to talk about next week, Edwin?
I don't know. Think it'll be a surprise.
Scary Mystery Surprise is hosted by Michelle Newman and
Edwin Covarrubias. This podcast was edited and sound designed by Sarah Vorhees Wendel of VW Sound.